Owners and trainers, I'd like to welcome the Acting General Manager of Delta Lagos, Roald Beloy, and Marketing Manager Kundai Mwema, and all Delta executive, staff, management and other guests present this afternoon. We welcome you to Borrowdale Park for the kick-off event of the 63rd running of the Castle Tankard, the final acceptances. We're delighted to have you here with us again and extend our thanks and gratitude to Delta for their continued support of one of the oldest sponsors races in Zimbabwe, the Castle Tankard 2023. Special thanks must go to Kundai and to our MTC Racing Executive Bettina and their teams for their hard work over the last few months. I know you've worked tirelessly together with our MTC Vice Chairman Scott Buchan on putting this event together today and the race day coming up on the 6th of May. And I would also like to extend apologies to Delta on behalf of Scott for not being here today. He was unfortunately called away out of town last night on a family emergency. Thanks also go to all our trainers and their teams at home, the jockeys and the work riders, and especially to the owners for your continued support of the trainers and the Mashonaland Turf Club. It's been a tough year for everyone again, and we appreciate your hard work and contributions to help us keep racing in Zimbabwe alive. We remain optimistic that better times are not far off, and the investment made by Delta for this race today is definitely a key stepping stone towards a more positive future for all of us. We are very glad to have been able to continue the strong and positive relationship between Delta and the MTC, and excited that we're once again able to hold this event this year. The Tankard has always been one of the biggest and most important races in our season, and as an owner, it is definitely the one we all want to race in and the one you want to win. I think you should see this hopefully from the declared list of field runners that we're going to come later. It looks like it's going to be a very exciting race. So yes, thank you Roald, Kundai and the entire Delta team for your support in continuing this legacy. We look forward to an exciting day of racing on the 6th and hopefully many more opportunities to carry on working together in the future to celebrate the two great pastimes of drinking beer and watching horses. So now, let me hand over to Mr. Beloy from Delta to continue. Thanks.
Board of Stewards, here represented by Paul Goringe, C.J. Smith, Ms. Kirsty Stidolf, the MTC Vice Chair, Mr. Scott Buchanan, the MTC Racing and Administration Executive, Ms. Bettina Gurajena, Delta Beverages, Lagos Manco members and executives, owners, trainers, and jockeys, Mashonaland Turf Club management team, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to you all. It is an honor to be part of this wonderful event and to participate once more in the 63rd edition of the prestigious Castle Tankard horse racing event. The Castle Tankard remains a much anticipated event in the horse racing calendar, dating far back to 1960, when our association with the race began. The longevity of this event is a true testament of the strength and consistency of both the brand Castle Lager and the bonds of corporate and personal friendship forged with the Mashonaland Turf Club over the decades. As Delta Beverages, we would like to applaud you, Mashonaland Turf Club, for the resilience you have shown year on year, despite the economic challenges, to nurture and keep the sport of horse racing alive. Your efforts have allowed us to be here today, preparing for yet another special event. We also applaud you for the many developments that have been made here at the Borrowdale Racecourse in the past year. You're breathing life into the venue aesthetically, socially, and most importantly, financially. So congratulations to you. Delta Beverages' commitment to the sport of horse racing in Zimbabwe through our flagship brand Castle Lager remains firm. We wish all the owners, trainers, and jockeys the very best. And with the stakes amounting to USD 50,000 this year, promises to be yet another very exciting race day. We look forward to hosting you and the Zimbabwean public here on Saturday, the 6th of May 2023, for a great rest day experience with lots of musical entertainment, braai and beer sales lined up, and our consumers and traders are encouraged to drink and sell responsibly as always. As we say, it all comes together with the castle. I thank you.
Without further ado, we have now come to the time we've all been waiting for, the unveiling of the final fields of the 2023 Castle Tankard Final Acceptances Program. I'll be ably assisted by these ladies who will reveal the field that will be running for this year, for the 2023 Castle Tankard Final Acceptances. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the runners that will be taking part come the 6th of May 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, the field of 2023. Come on, let's see what we're So let's go through them. Number one is Mr. Greenlight, draw 9, carrying 60 kgs. Jockey still to be appointed from the Vanessa Beckett yard. 2 is Only Him, draw 7, Jerry Penny on board from Bridget Styles yard. Number 3 is True Beauty. True Beauty, ridden by Francois Harold from Thomas Mason's yard. And 4 is Holy Land with draw 1. Vanessa Becketoft, jockey still to be appointed. 5 is Wantage, Wes Mowing on board from Bridget Styles yard. 6 is Bugatti Blue, drawn 14. Deborah Swanson, the trainer. 7 is Lily Blue, Matthew Thackeray, the jockey from Bridget Styles yard as well. 8, Marsican, it's drawn 5. Deborah Swanson is the trainer there. Number 9 is Indingwe with Roger Satombo, the jockey for Deborah Swanson. 10 is 3 to Tango, drawn 11, Kevin Derere on board. 11 is Grand Warrior with Grant Petersa on board for Deborah Swanson. 12, Down to Business with Deborah Swanson as well. 13, Ideal View, Nathan Klink for Deborah Swanson. 14, drawn 3, Citrus Dal with Morgan Yamagwete for Bridget Stidolf. And last but not least, horse number 15, drawn 12, is reigning again, Gavin McLeod, the trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, your field for Saturday, the 6th of May. So we're now going to go through with the betting. And I would like to ask the representative from Mr. Peter Barr to come out and share the betting, and you can see what you can expect if you want to take a punt on any of these come the 6th of May. Let's give Peter Barr a warm welcome as he brings through the betting. And you will be able to get the odds, that you see listed here this afternoon. So let's go through the field and see what you can get and what prices you can get for these runners come the 6th of May. These prices will be valid today. So horse number 1, Mr. Greenlight, is trading at 20 to 1. 2, Only Him, is 7 to 1. 3, True Beauty, is 8 to 1. Number 4, Holy Land, is 9 to 1. That'll be followed by Wantage. Wantage is trading at a healthy 14 to 1. 6, Bugatti Blue. You can get odds of 20 to 1 for the 6, Bugatti Blue. 7, Lily Blue, also trading at 20 to 1. Number 8, Marsican, Same price at 20 to 1. And the 9 Dindingwe is priced up at 10 to 1. 10, 3 to Tango is at 20 to 1. The unbeaten Grand Warrior is even money at 1 to 1. So you can get even money for the 11 Grand Warrior, favorite thus far. Down to business, horse number 12 is priced up at 8 to 1. 13 Ideal View is 25 to 1. 14 Citrus Doll is at 33 to 1. And lastly, 15 Raining Again is at 12 to 1. So these are the odds that you can expect. They will fluctuate more or less before the 6th of May, but today you can get them at these odds. So as per tradition, I will now ask our representatives from both sides, Mr. Baloy, if you want to come up and lay the first bet and see which one you can get, as well as Ms. Stidolf afterwards. Okay, that's the favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay, Mr. Baloy wants to find out which one he wants to put your money on. Well, there's no real system that will show you the winner, but the favorite is the even money one. Put $1, you get $1 back, plus $1 back. So that's the favorite, but any one of these can surprise. So the more the money at the beginning, the more you get back. So which one are you going for?
Grand Warrior.
Favorite Grand Warrior, how much are you putting on?
I'll put $10.
$10 on Grand Warrior for Mr. Baloy. Ms. Stidolf, you can come through. What are you fancying?
I don't know, I'm the world's worst better. Having nearly had a heart attack earlier when I didn't see my horse on the screen. I'm glad to see she is here, Bettina. But I can't bid on her. So I think I'm going to go with our little pocket rocket from Start Off Racing, Wantage. And I will be vaguely optimistic and say $50, go boy.
A bit more confidence there for Wantage. So if any of you want to also take a bet, you can go through to the Peter Bar stable, and they will be able to assist you. And who also you think is going to be the winner here. Let's give a round of applause for Thomas Mason. Thomas, you've got True Beauty running. This was the horse of the year last year.
The True Beauty, I mean, yes, we won it last year, and we're obviously back to try and defend the crown. It won't be easy. I mean, she's carrying a lot more weight than last year. Competition is tough this year, but we prepped her right. She's coming along the right way, and we're going to try and make history, because I look back in the form in the previous winners of the Castle Tankard, and there's been no back-to-back winners of the Castle Tankard. So that's against us, but we'll try and make history. I've got Francois Harold riding the horse, who's ridden it twice and won on it twice, so unbeaten. But it's a tough race. 2000 never easy. The Castle Tankard, the 63rd running of it, it's going to be a good race. And on behalf of me and my owners and all the trainers, we'd like to thank Delta for putting on this race once again. $50,000, it's fantastic, especially in these times when we're all struggling to get things and racing to keep going. To have this kind of stake money to race for is what we all live for as owners, trainers and jockeys. So thank you, Delta, for coming back once again. We really appreciate that. Dangers. Well, if you look at the betting, it looks very much a one-horse race. I mean, Grand Warrior, even money, second favourite, 7 to 1. I think that's a bit harsh. I think he's a good horse, Grand Warrior, don't get me wrong. But a 7 to 1 second favourite, I think there are dangers. He's a young horse, he's unbeaten. He's going 2000 for the first time. He's running against 15 horses. I think so far the biggest field they've ever had is 6. So there's a lot of things factoring against Grand Warrior, but the way he won on Friday was very, very impressive. And there's no doubt about it. I think he is the horse to beat. We'll make him run for it, and hopefully we can try and make it back to back.
Well done, Tom. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's Thomas Mason there, who's got the runner. Thomas Mason with the runner True Beauty. Full welcome to Tankard. Hello, Debbie, welcome.
Hi. A lot of arrows in my bow bag, and I've got a lot of horses here to be proud of. Obviously, I'd like to thank the betting. For once at Zimbabwe, we've actually got some decent prices on horses that have got some decent chances. You don't often get that at borrowdale Park, so well done to the guy doing the betting, that's great. Grand Warrior has got his work cut out. He is a baby, he's still immature, he's got a lot of learning to do. He hasn't really taken on a very, very strong field. He's never taken on a field of this size. But his jockey's been up, he's had a feel of him, they've had a bit of a taste of the course, they've had a bit of a taste of stronger competition. He's come out of his run very well, and I don't anticipate any problems going into this. Not many of my horses have got good draws, but from the 2,000 metres, you've got a lot of room to play with there, so that shouldn't probably be played too badly into any of their hands. I do obviously rate Grand Warrior very highly, and I do expect him to run a big race. But I've got some other horses that have some reckoning to do with as well. I'll go with them in the order. Bugatti Blue is a hard-running, determined little character. He's very, very bold, very brave. Norbert Takawera is his usual jockey. I'm not quite sure who's going to ride him at this point. He isn't an easy campaigner to handle, so we have to look for the right jockey for the job. Masakan, our little Australian girl, she loves the 2,000 plus. She knows how to run. She's raced with Mike de Kock in South Africa, so she's got all the boxes ticked as how to win a race of this sort of nature. She's a hard filly, and she will come with a late rattle. Dindingwe's had a rough season last season. She went down south, didn't all go well her way. She is Zim's darling. She's back on the course. She's done nothing wrong really to come back and win a very small field race, and then didn't disgrace herself on Friday either, running quite well with this sort of field after having a break out of the pens early. She's very, very well. She loves a 2,000 metre trip. She's hopefully be up there. Roger Satamba knows her very, very well, and they get on very well. They got a good 3-year-old campaign together, so I expect her to be competitive. 3 to Tango, probably my best workhorse in the yard. He's got the most ability out of all my horses. Kevin Derere is a very clever jockey. You can't count him out. He knows how to position a horse in a race of this nature. I would watch out for them if all goes well coming out the pens. Tango doesn't always hold his reputation very well when it comes out the pens. He can sometimes come out a bit tardy, but he loves a 2,000 metre trip. I think he will, if he does jump with Kev and they get into the race, I think they'll be quite competitive here as well. Down to Business, another big baby. He fluffed his lines on Friday, had a lot of learning and racing to do, got a little bit confident coming into straight and to pick up his feet, but ran on very well, has come home very well. It's hard for a 3-year-old to win this race because he is, he's got a lot to learn still, and these older horses have been there, done it, and they've got their t-shirts, so he's got a lot of work to do. He's got a terrible draw, but like I say, the draws will sort themselves out on that back straight at the 2,000. Ideal View, he's done nothing wrong, hates the mud. We don't have that problem now. 25 to 1, I'd have a full crack at that. Got a nice low weight. He's a strong front runner. He's got the trip. There's no problem there. So yeah, very pleased with all my horses. They're all well. They're all doing their job right, and we look forward to see who gets the nose in front first. Hopefully it's one from my big string.
Okay, that's from your field. So from your competition, who do you think is going to pose a challenge?
Everybody's going to pose a challenge. This is a very, very hard race to win. It's very often your unfancied horses that sneak through and take everybody by surprise. This is the race to win. It's the most prestigious race. Every horse that does win this goes down in history as being one of Zimbabwe's greats. So every single horse that lines up is a threat, and every single horse is to be taken seriously.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Deborah Swanson.
For your sponsorship yet again. Huge congratulations. Look, I'm a little bit in the deep end, Jangoni. You know, I've only been helping Bridgie for a short time. I've managed to sit on a few of hers. So I can only give you what I feel. I think the stable elect is probably between Wantage and only him. But you know, I worked this filly Lily Blue, and her work was outstanding. So I think the bookies might have got this wrong. I think Grand Warrior is going to drift a bit in the betting. You know, it's all fresh in their minds from Friday. I think if you look through the form deeply, I think they've missed it here. I think a few of these others will shorten in the betting. out of the Bridget start-off yard, I'd be backing Lily Blue, who works outstanding. I think if the jockey doesn't make mistakes, she's a big runner. You know, it's a tough race. It takes a tough horse to win. You've got to be positioned perfectly. You know, I think the front runners in this type of race don't generally seem to win. It seems to be the jockeys go too hard early in the first 200. So if you've got a horse that can switch off quickly, easily, save your energy for the end, I think, yeah, those are the winners. For me, I think the danger is True Beauty. I know she's got a lot of weight, and 2,000 probably right at the end of her liking as a trip. But I think between those two fillies, I'd like to see one of them win, to be honest.
Thanks very much, Dave. So we're all representing the Bridget Saddle Yard. Put your head on the block and pick one.
Yeah, I'm going Lily Blue from True Beauty, and only him in third.
There you go. Thank you very much, Mr. Borrowdale. Representing the Saddle Yard. Do we have any jockeys? Any local jockeys here? Please feel at home and enjoy yourselves. Thanks very much for coming. Thank you.
No horse has won this race back to back. What do you think are your chances of True Beauty actually doing that this year?
I think I've got a very good chance. I mean, this has been the target all along from last year. Once she earned where she was last year, there was very limited races we would go for. So it's also been a long-term plan to try and get back to this race and get her ready for this. Is our target. And we've got a good draw of 4, which I think is just what we want to be. Between 4 and 7, 8, 9, around there, right? You've got a chance to manoeuvre. I've got a nice jockey on board who knows her. And I think that we'll give it a good go. We are meeting a very nice young horse in Grand Warrior, but you haven't got a ticket, you haven't got a chance.
Right, and last year it was a close race, and you seem a bit surprised that you guys were able to go on and win it. Is the pressure different this time around, being amongst the favourites?
I would say not as much, because thankfully I'm not the talking horse, as we call it in racing. I mean, that belongs to Deborah Swanson. I think she's got more pressure than I have because of Grand Warrior. So I'm a little bit under the radar. I'm going to say yes. I mean, I won it last year, but people aren't really talking about True Beauty. They're not really they're more focused on Grand Warrior, which I'm hoping is in my favour. You know, I can sort of sneak under the radar. She's very well, and let's try and make history. Like I said, no one's won it back to back. We might be the first, and we'll definitely try.
Right, and the support that you guys continue getting from Delta Beverages, how important is that for you guys?
Very important. I mean, like I said, we've been going for 63 years. It is not only the oldest sponsored race in Zimbabwe, actually the oldest sponsored race in Southern Africa. That's how far back it goes. And to keep going for this meeting every year is fantastic, because it's every owner's dream. Owners come buy horses, they look at long term, you know, they get involved in horses, they're already thinking, what can we buy that can run the Tankard? They think ahead, because that's the dream, the one you want to win. And it's very important for racing that Delta is still on board, and we thank them very much.
Thank you. I've got the most horses in this race, including the favourite. Maybe let's start talking about that. Having the favourite at 1:1. How much pressure is that for you guys?
I don't love having the favourite, and with a game, in this sort of game, with this sort of race and these sort of stakes, you've got to be very careful. He has got a guard on him at all times now, just to make sure that there's no funny business that gets done behind the scenes. It is a lot of pressure. I like having 1 or 2 horses that are not entirely fancied, because then your chances are always a lot more fun. This isn't a fun race. This is a very hard race to win. This is the one race that everybody vouches to win in the year. So that is why I've got so many. All my owners want all their horses to run, and that's why we've got them all carded and ready to go now. They all have earned their place there, and I think they'll all give a good account of themselves. Grand Warrior is a very young horse, as I said earlier on. He's a very big baby, but he's super professional and a pleasure to train, and has put no foot wrong at this point. So, yeah, hopefully all goes well from now until race day. Anything can go wrong from now until then. But he's happy, he's healthy, he's fit and he's sound, and I expect him to run a very big race.
All right, he's unbeaten so far, and I think it's the first time he's running 2,000. Is that how much of a challenge do you think that could present for him?
No, he's a son of Global View. I don't see the 2,000 trip being a problem at all. He's not a horse that tears off to the front and overdoes these things. he switches off, he relaxes, and he quickens when he's asked to. Yeah, he won his last race with a lot in hand, and I think why the bookmaker has given him such a good price is that coming into this race, he gets 7 points off being a 3-year-old. 3-year-olds get these 7 points off because they're that much more mature, they've had less experience. But with the weight turnaround, he was taking on these sort of horses, carrying more weight than he will be on Castle Tankard Day. So that puts him in a good astute for where he will be this time around.
And then maybe finally from the other horses in your stable, which ones do you think maybe can pull up a surprise outside of Grand
They're
Warrior?
all Deb's favourites. Deb loves them all lots, and I can't really say there's ever an outstanding horse really here. Like I said, Bugatti Blue, he's had his chances. He's an older horse now. He's run this race many times. But he is a hard horse to go past. He fights on like a soldier. Masakin, she's come from South Africa. She loves the longer trips. Dindingwe is a lovely, roly, galloping filly. Three to Tango is probably my, if you work horses in my yard, Three to Tango probably shows you the most. They don't always bring it to race day. He keeps secrets on race day. But Kevin Derrera is a local jockey. He knows this course like the back of his hand, and he's a real rogue in racing. He knows how to win these sort of races. When he puts his mind to it, he's very, very capable. We've spoken about Grand Warrior. Down to Business is his sort of peer from his class. They've been racing together at work. They know each other well. He is probably got quite a bit out of his depth here, but he is a nice sort. He'll be a brilliant 4-year-old. Might be a little bit soon in his career for him now, but as I said, this is the Castle Tankard. We don't know if we'll have it next year. We don't know where we're going to be as racing, and we're going to have a go for it this year. So, Ideal View, he's come from PE. He's a big, straight, galloping horse. He's done nothing wrong here. Comes in with very good form, a lot of confidence. Nice, big, strong horse. He's jockeyed, hasn't known him yet, but I don't think that's going to be a complication. I think he's pretty simple enough to ride. And that's it from my yard, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You were a jockey, right?
Oh, cool, yeah. I've won this a couple of times, but let's do the jockey.
Okay, so one of the things that you said when you came here and you were speaking about the acceptances, you queried how much Grand Warrior has been made a favourite. And now, as a joker, will be challenging that. What will be the strategy that you might try to employ to make sure that you prove the bookmakers wrong?
So that's a very interesting question. You know, as a jockey, I used to study a lot of form. I'd always make sure I had plan A, B, C, all the way down to Z in order, and I'd try, in my mind, position different horses in different places to try and put them off their game. You know, Grand Warrior, he's a young horse. He's a very good horse, don't take me wrong, but he's a young horse, so I think these older knocking campaigners, they've got the advantage. You know, they could bully him a little bit in the beginning. It's a big field. He hasn't run in a big field like this. You know, it's like getting into a scrum in rugby. As the wing, I think he could be put under pressure early, and if you can give him a couple of bumps and just put him under pressure early, he might use a bit too much of his fuel in the beginning and not have it for the end of the race. So, you know, for me, it's about having patience in this race. Preserve your power, keep your petrol in the tank so you've got it for the finish. So if I was riding, I would definitely look to go and put a little bit of pressure on him as the favourite and see if he's really made of what the bookies say he is.
All right, then maybe just finally, what are some of the toughest things about racing here at Borrowdale Racecourse as a jockey?
Yeah, you know, the toughest things about racing is obviously we don't race often enough. In Zimbabwe, you know, we're only racing twice a month. I think if we could race every week, it would make it a lot easier for jockeys. I think the course is magnificent, one of the best race courses in the world. I've ridden all over the world, and this is truly one of the most beautiful, best race courses in the world. But yeah, sadly we just don't have enough racing. But well done, thank you to Delta Beverages yet again coming to the fall and sponsoring such a prestigious, beautiful, big race of Africa.
Maybe just confirm your full name and how many times you've won this race.
Hi, my name's Quinton Riddle. I've won this race twice. I've run a lot of places in this race. I think the first time I rode in this race is going back to 1994. I won it in 2008 with Mr. Gorange's horse Mooncoin, and I won it recently. 2016 was the last time I won it on Yeoman from South Africa.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.